Hi everyone, this is AmagonRosh, your garage kit nerd, and for this video I will show you my work on C18 versus Vegeta from E2046. All fans of Dragon Ball Z perfectly remember the Cyber Skunk, and when Vegeta is literally smashed by C18. I know a lot of people don't like this scene as it shows the mighty Vegeta powerless and in addition beaten by a simple woman. Anyways, this is not why we are here today. For being a fan of the anime, I always wanted to do a garage kit about it, and I can tell you that I was very happy when I found this kit on E2046. E2046 is a recast website when you can find a lot of garage kit painted and unpainted. I'm not gonna give you more details now, but I surely will do a video one day about recast websites. And there are already plenty videos about it on YouTube. It was the first time that I would work on such a big kit. I was kind of worried because I didn't really know what to expect. Before starting showing you the video, I want to tell you that I was in the middle of changing my camera and the quality might differ. And this is the first time for me to take video too, so please don't be too judgy about the lights and the angles. Hey, we all have to start somewhere, but I really hope you'll like it. It actually took less than a month for me to receive the package. I was very happy and couldn't wait anymore. I did 2 orders, one for me and one for my friend who commissioned me to do it for him. It was the first time I received the package so fast and I really couldn't complain. The kit inside the packet was very well protected. As you can see here, there is a lot of bubble wrap. I was kind of worried because of C18's hair. It looks very fragile. And you know what? It didn't miss. Yeah, I broke the hair with my big clumsy hands. Anyway, it can be fixed later, but it's very frustrating to start and break something. After inspection of all of the pieces, I saw few gaps here and there, especially on C18, but nothing that some putty can't fix at the end. I also decided to do some modifications to the kit as I was not happy with few things. It was especially again on C18. For example, the connection between the tight and the skirt was absolutely not natural. The hair were not very wavy for me, and I wanted to add inner buckle on her boots. I also wanted to change a bit the position of Vegeta's hands, as it didn't seem right to me. The first step after reviewing all of the pieces is the easiest, cleaning them. But why cleaning the kit, would you ask? It is actually very simple. When casters do a garage kit, they will use a release agent to prevent the resin to stick to the mold. I use OxyClean to remove this release agent, but you guys can use other products. I soaked it for 24 hours before cleaning it with a toothbrush. You can find on blogs that only using soap and soaking it in a warm water for a few minutes is enough, but I prefer being cautious here and not having my pen stripping or peeling when I mask or manipulate the kit. Now it is time to pin the pieces. It is an important step as it will make all the pieces stick together. For this project I used different size of magnets, 10 and 12 by 3mm for the Vegeta's legs and chest, and 6 by 3mm for C18's arms. For the rest I will pin with 2mm brass rod. As you can see, I will need to drill with very big shanks. The Dremel I usually use won't be enough for that, so I will take my electric drill machine. I bought it when I was living in France to drill holes in my apartment. And you know what, if it's good for French walls, it will also be good for garage kits. And to finish, I always have a vacuum. It is very handy to not have dust everywhere. And also the most important is for you to have a mask that you don't inhale resin. Now that everything is set, the fun can begin. A tip for you when you pin with brass rod. After drilling the first part, put some sticky tack on the other piece and connect them together, but not too strong. you will see the mark of the hole from the other piece. It will be then very easy for you to know where to drill. And then you repeat the process for all of the pieces. I told you earlier I wanted to review the Vegeta's hand position. To do so, I removed part of the resin from the right hand in order to pivot his hand and give a different angle. I am using a square cutter for that. You'll be surprised to see how easy it is to remove the resin. When it comes to put magnets, the process is extremely similar. I first drill one piece, see if the magnet fits, glue it to make sure that it will stay at its place. Then, I put some masking sole on the magnet and put the pieces together. The masking sole will do a mark on the other piece and I will know where I have to drill. If you don't know what are the products that I'm using, don't worry, I have put in the description all of the necessary information for you to find them. Now we are going to play a little bit with that putty. I am finally done with drilling. I mean, not exactly, I will need to go back later to that. You remember earlier in the video I told you there are gaps and changes I want to do. This is now. And I will use putty to correct all of this. There is actually a lot of work in this kit. The more I go, and the more I wonder where I put myself in. There are different types of putty and I will do a dedicated video about it. So for this video I won't go too much into details. I used two types of putty for this project. The polyester one, which is very fluid and hardened very fast, usually after 45 minutes it is completely hard. I also used the epoxy putty, which is less fluid and needs at least 24 hours to harden. But as they both have their own characteristics, I had to use them. They are from Tamiya. I really like the quality of their products and usually go with this brand. But this is not like there were no other good brands, it is just what I like to work with. Actually, before using some putty, there is a little bit more drilling to do. But this time it is for a different purpose. When you apply a layer of putty on the pieces, you need to have a surface where it can stick to. So that's why it is important to remove the resin with the driller. For the polyester putty, you have to mix the two pastes together, which results in giving some kind of a mustard color paste. The orange product is the hardener, so the more you put, the faster the putty will harden. Before applying to the surface, I make sure I put a layer of Vaseline on the other piece. That way the putty will stick only to one part. If you forget that, you'll end up with either breaking your putty or worse, having the two pieces glued together. It might seem obvious, but I had in the past forgotten to add Vaseline, and it is not fun. When you put two pieces together, you will always have an excess of putty, which is good. It tells you that all the gaps are filled. I always try to remove as much as I can, this way I don't have to sand it when it's hard, because sanding, it's really not my jam. So if I can make it quicker, I'll do everything possible. To remove it, I use a simple toothpick. Okay, let's stop here for a minute. You guys see the toothpick on the putty, right? This is where my nightmare started. I realized that even by adding putty, I would not be able to fill all of the gap. Otherwise, the leg will be stuck in the rock. Yeah, I tried and ended up breaking the rock pieces when removing the leg. Apparently, the way the two legs of Vegeta have been designed made it impossible to have a nice connection. But you guys, or these garage kids, don't know me yet. I will not be defeated because of this. What I did is to remove a huge part of the resin on the tight and add putty in the rock. This way, the two legs could perfectly connect. Oh, for sure, it took me way much more time than expected, but the result was worth it. I used the second putty for the rock where Vegeta is lying in. As you can see, I didn't record with my camera. I completely forgot to press the record button. I am quite happy though to have at least a mobile version to show you guys. For the rock, I needed to have a putty that is harder when you apply it to shape the rocks. The principle is the same as for the polyester. You have to mix the two pastes, but here you need to have an equal amount. It takes around 1 to 2 minutes to mix it well. After that, I did the same process. I put Vaseline before putting the pieces together, removed the excess, and use some tools to shape the putty. Then I had to wait the next day to be hard. Once the pieces are finally done, comes my least favorite part, sanding. This step is to remove, of course, the excess of putty, but also all the imperfection like the seam lines from the mold separation, the bubble made by the air in the resin, or even change a little bit the shape of the pieces. And for this kit, let me tell you, there was a lot of work. It's really because I love this figure and that my friend asked for it. You might also have figured it out. This is when I changed my camera. As you can see, the quality is clearly different. The good thing is though, I'm gonna be able now to give you different angles. Or when I also change the color of my gloves. For the sanding, I usually go with 4 grades of sandpaper. 200, 320, 400 and 600. I start with a rough 200 to remove all of the big imperfections and then go to a finer grain. I'm not gonna lie, this is really tedious work, but really necessary. Oh, one other thing, the more assiduous you'll be now, the less you have to work after applying the first coat of primer, but this I'm gonna explain you later. If you remember at the beginning of the video when I looked at the pieces, the neck and the head of C18 had a very big gap. Even if I applied the putty to fill it, I was not really happy with the results, so I decided to merge the two parts together. For this, I first need to drill the two sections when they are together. I then applied some light curing putty where I drilled to merge it completely. The good things with light curing putty is that it takes few seconds to harden when you apply UV light on it. And here we go, sanding again. I am finally done with the sanding. Gosh, it was so long. But I'm really happy with the results. I have to apologize, I thought I took some shots of the kits after the sanding, but for some reason I'm only able to find this picture. Yeah, I tend to forget those kind of things. Okay, now it's priming time. During this phase I apply the first coat of painting that sticks to the pieces. It is then easier to paint and also to mask. Even if sometimes it doesn't really make your paint stays where it should be and is ripped anyway with the masking tape. The second benefit with priming is to see all the little imperfections you missed during the sanding phase. I didn't record here, but I was quite lucky. I had only some minor issues on Vegeta's legs and C18's chest. It took me less than an hour to fix everything. As this kit is more realistic than the one I usually do, I wanted to go with something a little bit different for the painting. For the skin, I have used the Vallejo acrylic paints. I did some mixing between brand rose, flat flesh and dark flesh for the shading. It might seem too orange, but you'll see, after I apply the second layer, it looks really great. Oh, and yeah, there are sparkles all over, I know, and this is absolutely not a mistake. This was to reproduce the imperfections that we have on our skin. When I applied the first layer on the hair, I knew right away I did a mix way too yellow. And it was very bad. So I decided to change a bit the direction and go with a shiny color. After I did the shading, I applied first a beige color to clear that ugly yellow, and then I brushed with the silver paints to give, you know, this kind of shiny reflection blonde people have with the light. For the pants, in my imagination, C18 wears a spandex. I went first with the metallic black and passed a second layer of flat black. This way I will have something that is shiny but not too much. And at the end it really looked like a spandex. When you paint kits, you always need masking. Airbrush is not the most precise tool, and when you want to get different colors on the same piece, it is mandatory. I have different plates that help me to cut different shapes. Rectangle, circle, triangle, name them, I can do. I acquired them not so long ago, and I can tell you I want so much time thanks to them. I'll do a review in the future for you to see how they all look like.
The pain will make you cry. The pain will make me smile. The pain will make you cry. The pain will make you cry. The pain will make me smile. The pain will make you cry. The pain will make you cry. The pain will make you cry.
And the boots. That was maybe my biggest challenge here. As I wanted to get a realistic leather, I first painted a base of brown and red hole. But then, after, I needed to give them this, this aspect of used boots. So I went with a sponge and applied bit by bit several layers of different mix of colors between brown, yellow, orange and red. It took me more than an hour to like the result. But damn, you really think those are leather boots. Me and my brilliant idea wanted to have a more realistic painting. As C18 wears a jean skirt and jacket, I couldn't just go with no effect on them. I already did the skin, the hair and the boots. It would have looked horrible. So, I first applied a layer of grey and then a second layer of blue-grey as a base. Then, dry brush with a light blue and continue with a lighter blue. The pieces has this kind of, rough aspect like you can have with jeans, so at the end it really gave a nice look. But again, it took me a very long time to arrive to this result. I know. I said you use masking to paint different colors on the same piece, but sometimes it's easier and faster to go with a hand brush. After finishing with C18, I had to work on Vegeta. Luckily, it was way easier, even if it required to have more masking. Now that I am done with the first part of painting, it is time to go to the pastel and give a little bit more level to those shades. I use Faber-Castell as the quality is really amazing. If you want to try, make sure you go with soft pastel, which are the dry ones, otherwise you will have issues. I also heard that makeup is a great option. I definitely want to try as it has way much more number of grades, and if it means I don't have to mix the colors before, then it means I can do more stuff. Like, hey, doing more videos for you guys. Okay, you start to know me. Yeah, I know, I'm lazy. Oh, one other thing not to forget about pastels. When you are done, you need to fix it. Otherwise, it will disappear because it doesn't stick to the paint. For that, I use Mr. Super Clear UV Cut. After finishing the pastel, I had some more painting to do and details to correct, but I decided not to show it to you guys, otherwise you would have absolutely no surprise for the reveal. I am just gonna take a couple of minutes to give my impression of the kit. As this is a recast, I knew I would have had some work with gaps and oversanding, but I really didn't expect that much. I guess the mold E2046 is using is old or made from a recast, which will give this result. I am not complaining. As I said, this is a recast and we all know what we get when we order those. It is already amazing we can have access to those garage kits. I ordered plenty there before and this is the first time it happens. One more thing. I wanted to be as close to the anime as possible, so there were a lot of modifications I decided to do. Plus, if you add the realistic direction I took, it is normal there was a lot of work to provide. Let's remember, it was for my closest friends, I didn't want him to get something okay-ish. Overall, it took me around 3 months to work on it. During Garage Kit is not my main activities, and I was only able to work on it during my spare time, meaning early mornings, late nights, and weekends. And eventually in between having a bit of social life to not become crazy. It is definitely not a garage kit for beginner, so if you want to work on it, please don't make it your first, otherwise you will not enjoy it. Try something simpler, with less pieces and less details. And don't think bigger kits are simpler. It is usually the opposite. A smaller garage kit at the beginning will require less time on sanding, and as I said, sanding is not the best part. Now, I gave my feedback, so I think it's time to have a closer look on the final version of C18 versus Vegeta. This is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed doing it. There were so many things to talk about, but I was limited in time. There will be anyways many occasions to talk about those topics. And to be fair, I have still a lot to learn about recording. You can't even imagine how many brushes I trashed because we just saw my face or I was outside the frame. There will be more video to come this year. I have planned to release every month 2 videos. One short format where I will give you tutorials, review on paintings, tools, etc. and one long format where I will work on a garage kit. For the next ones, I can already give you a clue. This year, this is the 30th anniversary. I am planning 3 videos to get the main characters done, so stay tuned. Please don't hesitate to comment and let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, or click on this little bell to be informed when new videos arrive. You can also follow me on Instagram if you want to know what are the progress on my different projects. Thank you again for watching. This is AmagonRosh, your garage kit nerd.